Hear you, this is Laura Potato. This is what if Naruto was a wait. Okay, let me say that again. What if Naruto was a Kitsune and had special Rinnegans? I'll explain what the special Rinnegans are gonna be, and you get the problem. He's gonna basically be a fox demon. Now, let me explain how he's gonna be a fox demon. So the Uzumakis, how they have mostly be able to like capture some of the Biju and all that. They were also similar to a demon clan, but they were sort of from a demon clan, somewhat, because they are their chakra can actually contain the Nine Tails, but that's just because they are mostly from a demon clan. So the demon clan they're sort of originally from, not much, some members. Mostly the royal family kind of has mostly the demonic blood, and that's how they kind of have the Nine Tails. Like Minto and Kushina, how Minto is sort of a royalty, and Kushina also. Naruto's also gonna be royalty, and that's how he's gonna have some demon blood of the Kitsune. Now, with that happening in mind, the Nine Tails is still gonna happen the same. Naruto is actually, in this one, his hair is still yellow. His eyes are still a very deep color blue, or whatever color was it. I'm gonna just say deep color blue because I like kind of deep color blue. So, blue, deep color blue. He still have those whisker marks, and yeah, because he's gonna have, yeah, you get the point. So that's gonna still happen. Minato's still gonna seal the Nine Tails, the full Nine Tails into Naruto, not the half, just the full. So both yin and yang. Now, with that happening, I should also mention that Minato is actually a Senju. Well, he kind of known he was a sort of Senju. He just didn't want to admit that. He wanted to be a Namikaze. So let me explain that Minato Namikaze's parents. His father was a Senju. His mother, was a Namikaze. With those two combined, a Senju, his mother was a Namikaze. I'm also gonna be adding, I'm just kidding. Just a Namikaze. With that happening, his mother, Kushina Uzumaki, was Uzumaki, and Uzumaki and Ashi has a distant relationship towards the, Uchihas. You know how? Let me explain this. You know how the Uzumaki, Senju, and Uchihas are basically all from the sort of same person from the Sage of Six Path, except for that the Sage of Six Path son, he had two. One created the Senju and Uzumaki, and the other created the Uchiha. There's sort of distant relationship if you think about it. So Kushina, she was she's sort of a Uchiha. Like her great grandfather was an Uchiha. Her father is an Uzumaki Uchiha, and her mother is the same Uzumaki. So yeah. So with that happen, Naruto's actually gonna be Senju, Namikaze, Uzumaki, and Uchiha, because that's gonna be a way for him to actually get the special Rinnegan. Now, so I should also mention that, I forgot to mention that in Minato's parents, his mother was also something called the Yoshin clan. This clan is actually going to be an OC clan that I'm going to think about doing. This clan is mostly clan that has all elements, like every single element. With ice, some being born with ice, some being born with lightning. So yeah, they only will be. Let me say again. Some will only be born with either 3 elements to 4 elements to 5 elements to even all like 5 elements, so even other Kekken Kenkais like ice and all them others, and more different Kekken Kenkais like light and darkness, yin or yang. Yeah, you get the point. Which Naruto is actually gonna have 5 bloodlines. Even though Namikaze is sort of useless, but yeah, you get the point. So, the Nine Tails is still gonna be sealed into Naruto. Naruto is still gonna be hated by the villagers for when he got kicked out of the orphanages. He's 4 years old. He still kind of gets chased after some people. Well, he still gets chased around by people. He's actually gonna meet what's it called, Hinata. Still the same. Still, he just meets Hinata and still tries to protect Hinata, but the bullies manage to beat him up. But Naruto actually managed to unlock a special ability. Of course, during the time when he was trying to protect Hinata, it was snowing, right? When Naruto actually managed to control the snow, because that is one of his bloodlines, the Yoshi clan, the Yoshi clan. Basically, that means elements, okay? Just in Japanese, think of it, okay? Which he can actually control the snow. He basically can control any element without any hand signs. So when he actually uses the snow to attack the three bullies, he managed to defeat two of them, and the other one tries to punch Naruto, which he still managed to do. But Naruto got hit in the ground, and before he actually wanted to use his snow again, Hinata's guard, what's it called, what is his name? I forgot. Well, Hinata's guard comes out of nowhere and does, attack the boy. He managed to attack him and defend Naruto. Seeing that Naruto was actually trying to protect Hinata and actually using the snow, which the guard thinks, wow, it's an amazing ability, which, yeah, but he's a demon fox. But then he thinks about it. Why would he protect Hinata and actually using an ability? Which he then decides, well, Naruto isn't a demon brat that much. Instead, he's actually a good person. So yeah. So Naruto was like really hurt. So the Hinata's guard did decide to grab Naruto and bring him towards the hospital. And Hinata also followed along. Of course, the hospital place doesn't really hate Naruto. Well, an actual member from it. So, an actual member from it is with someone with like purple hair and like greenish sort of eyes. She's sort of a doctor nurse. Well, I mean, fully a doctor and all that, and major and doctor and all that. So she doesn't hate Naruto. Half the other doctors and maybe some nurses still hate Naruto, but some of the people in the hospital always see Naruto get beaten up by things and all that. Now, I don't remember when he helped Hinata. Fuck. So I'm gonna say he helped Hinata when he was 6 years old. I can't remember when it was. So yeah. So they have seen Naruto get beaten up when he was 5 years old, or even when he was 6 years old. So, yeah. So yeah, they can tell between Naruto being a demon and a human child. So yeah. Also, I should mention that, yeah, Naruto's eyes are blue color, like a dark blue color. That's just because it kind of shows, like, how should I say? The blue kind of shows, like, a deep sea color. Think about it like the sea, water, and all that. The other eye, he has actually two, eyes, colors. One being a sea deep color, and the other being, how should I say? A very, So, his other eye is a very, like, how should I say, similar dark color towards the Uchiha, but it's sort of like dark with also some white. Wait, no, not that color. It's dark color, of course, but not white, but purple. It's a purple color. Yeah. So, he has two different color eyes. Some people think it's confusing. But no one ever noticed that. Some people actually in the village see that Naruto isn't a demon fox, because why would a fox have two different color eyes? Like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. They can see that Naruto has whisker marks, but yeah, they still don't care. Some people still hate Naruto and all that, but yeah, that's just gonna be people's fault, blah blah blah. So Naruto's being healed by the doctors and nurses in there and all that. When Naruto is fully healed, he still stays a little bit in the hospital, but then decides to leave towards his apartments. His apartment is actually well been vandalized by, of course, villagers, some villagers. So with Naruto, he is just leaving. Well, the next day happens. Let me say that again. Ugh. The next day happens, and Naruto is just going to the store. Of course, he gets kicked out of some stores, and yeah. And since Naruto is still gonna be a prankster, since he doesn't know about his bloodline, well, sort of a prankster. He's still gonna sort of prank people, but he is seeing that his when he kind of used the snow as an attack, he kind of thought that it was kind of weird. Maybe something interesting that he has. He tries to do it again with like water, but he can't do it. He tries to do it with some earth, like the ground, and tries to lift up on a piece of rock, but he can't do it. The reason why he can only do snow is because since snow is sort of a, how should I say, a more lighter, well not lighter, a light kind of element. It's kind of much lighter in weight. Sort of the ability can actually be controlled because of the lightness. Water sort of has a more denser, denser weight. With earth, the same. Maybe he can lift up tiny rocks, but not much. He still doesn't know how to do that. With snow, it was sort of more, how should I say, light. He can sort of control wind, because even though wind doesn't have an amount of weight, he can sort of control it, but he still doesn't actually know that he can control wind, so he's just lost in that. Fire, of course, fire doesn't have a much dense weight, I don't think so, and so where is he gonna get fire unless he wants to cause a fucking forest fire? He's not gonna try that. With other elements like ice, lava, or any of that, like harder elements to actually get, yeah, there's no way he can actually get it. But when Naruto was just walking around, he was thinking like, what should I try? Then he saw like small rocks, like just small tiny rocks, and decided to try to use his ability to lift that up. He managed to lift only like 5 like rocks, like tiny rocks, and was amazed of his ability. Of course, he wanted to tell his grandfather, Gigi, the Hokage, basically, reason, about this ability. But then he decided to counter, nah, I don't think he would actually think that would be special. I think, because Naruto thinks that this isn't special. He thinks maybe everyone has this, and he's not special. Which Naruto, he just walks around. He actually goes to the Hyuga compound without even noticing that. And he accidentally bumps into the same girl he saved last time with using his snow ability. When that happens, Naruto just waves at Hinata, and Hinata just jumps a little bit, and then sort of sees that this is the same blonde boy that actually saved her from some bullies using snow. And Hinata just sort of waves at Naruto until, well, Hiyashi's brother is still alive and all that. So Hiyashi comes out and wanted to drag, Hinata away from Naruto, until Hiyashi's brother just tell his brother it's okay, they're just kids. Hiyashi doesn't really care that Hinata is sort of hanging out with Naruto. It's just Hiyashi. The problem is Naruto isn't a demon in Hiyashi's eyes, so he doesn't care because he has his brother still. So yeah, so Naruto and Hinata are sort of hanging out, just talking, and of course this is where Naruto meets Neji. Neji does not have the stick up all the way up his ass, so Neji is still sort of more friendlier towards Hinata, but it's a little bit more in guard between Naruto and Hinata, since Neji has to be the protector of Hinata like an older brother does. After a while, let me just skip a couple months. After a while, Naruto has to decide to talk to Neji. Neji is 1 year older than him, so of course he's 7 years old. So Naruto has trained with Neji, and of course when Naruto tries to like kick Neji, he loses because of course Naruto doesn't have great chakra control, and since he has the full 9 tails, his chakra, coils are actually going to keep growing. he's still 6 years old, so of course it's gonna keep growing. So when Naruto is just sort of training and sort of like Hyuga techniques, like to control his chakra, because since sort of like Hyuga doesn't see Naruto as a bad demon fox or anything, because Hyugas are way smarter to see that, yeah, Naruto isn't a demon fox. So Naruto has actually been friends with Hinata for a while, for 3 months. So of course when Naruto's trying to control his chakra, it really can't. He has way too much. And of course this is only a 6-year-old Naruto. When Naruto tries to fight against Neji again, trying to probably use the Hyuga technique, but of course Naruto does not have the Byakugan. So every time he tries to hit Neji in the pressure point, he can't and gets hit back. So yeah, Naruto cannot learn the gentle fist at all. But Naruto decides to think, if I can't learn the gentle fist, then what can I actually learn? So I should mention that Naruto in this one is sort of still, how should I say, dumb, but not much. He actually uses his brain a lot better. So Naruto, he is still trying to maybe do the gentle fist, but of course it's gonna be way harder for him to actually learn it, because he needs to remember all the pressure points. Then, well, yeah, the tensile pressure points, yeah, because he does not have the Byakugan, so he can't use the gentle fist at all, properly at all. So he tries to do it on a wood dummy to see the pressure points, because yes, of course, Hiyashi's like brother, I forgot his name, kind of like did a dummy practice on like different like targets around some dummy and all that, a wooden dummy, for Naruto to practice, and Hinata to also like teach Naruto. Since Hinata in this one, she's still gentle, but she still doesn't have that whole trauma with her like not using the gentle fist, or her whole heritage of being the heiress, well yeah, the heiress for the Hyuga. So she's still not that shy. She's still shy, but not much shy. So when Naruto does like get teach by Hinata on how to use it, Naruto's trying to use it, but of course Naruto fails half the time. So this happens for a while. So I don't remember when Hiyashi's brother died, and I don't remember his name. I think it's the same how you say Hiyashi, but I think when instead of an S it's a Z. I think so. I can't remember. Fuck. Well, Hiyashi's brother like does help Naruto on how to learn the gentle fist, but of course Naruto does not learn it that much. But when the whole alliance ship with what's it called, the Cloud Village still happened with Harusen doing that whole thing, the Cloud Ninja still tried to not attack, but rob, kidnap Hinata. Naruto was at that, was going sort of home. He was sort of going home until he saw the kidnap. He was just training a little bit more, like running around, just because he wanted to get something from like different stores. He did kind of went to a place just to get some food and all that. So with that happening, Naruto saw him, some like random ninja just like running past him, and Naruto saw the ninja having like this bag, like a bag of potatoes. It looked like a bag of potatoes for Naruto, but when he realized more, it looks like the bag of potatoes were sort of like swarming and all that. And a head actually pops out, blue hair, and Naruto realized this because there was some light. When the ninja ran past, the light was still hitting the ninja and also the bag. And Naruto realized whose hair was that, and that was basically Hinata's. So Naruto rushes towards Hinata and all that. So, Hiyashi and his brother still hasn't noticed about Hinata's getting kidnapped. Naruto's right now rushing towards, the person, and actually decides to grab a rock and throws it at, like, the ninja. With that happening, the ninja was just like, actually managed to not dodge it and got hit in the head and actually dropped Hinata and said, "Who was that?" and looks at Naruto because Naruto threw that rock at him. Naruto actually used his ability to lift up the rock and actually throw it at him. Which that's how he got hit in the head. The ninja. Now with that happening, the ninja got very angry and rushed at Naruto. And Naruto tried to dodge. He sort of got more, how should I say, flexible between the time he was training with Hinata and like in the Hyuga and all that. Naruto actually decides to go check on Hinata. When he found out that Hinata's gone, he actually warned his father and also Hiyashi, his uncle. So with that happening, everyone in the Hyuga clan all just got worried about that and also asked what happened to one of the Cloud Ninjas. So of course there were 3 Cloud Ninjas that were supposed to be there, but they only found 2. So they all thought for the worst and actually told, the 2 Cloud Ninjas to stay there. They were sort of Cloud Ninjas, not really that much. They were sort of like bachelors. So with that, the Hyugas were all just panicking where Hinata was. Of course, Hanabi is not born yet, so yeah. And Hiyashi and his brother just looked around and also looked out of the compound. And when Naruto was fighting against the ninja, managing to dodge but trying to figure out what to do, he can't use his ability to use the rocks because that will probably lure the fact that he has something special. But he does not know if it's still special or nothing. He did not show it to the Hyuga clan at all, his special ability. And there's no light thing around him so he can throw it at the ninja. With that happening, Naruto, the only thing he kind of learned from the Hyuga techniques and all that was not the gentle fist, but something else. Naruto jumped back, and Naruto, the only technique he kind of learned from the Hyuga and all that was, but before he can actually do something, Hiyashi and Hiyashi's brother looked out and saw Naruto fighting this ninja. And Hiyashi's brother told Hiyashi about like this ninja attacking it. Isn't that Cloud Ninja? And of course they said, yeah, that is the Cloud Ninja. And they did, they activated their Byakugan eyes and saw in the bag that must be Hinata, because it's short and it has chakra on that bag. So before they can actually rush in to help Naruto, Naruto jumped back, leaped back, and in his hand he decides to put chakra. With Hiyashi's brother actually noticing what Naruto is doing, is basically the air palm technique. Naruto launches the air palm technique towards the ninja. The ninja gets hit and actually launched into a wall. And of course he did crash into it and was kind of hurt. Now, Hiyashi's brother was amazed when Naruto using the air palm technique, but Naruto did have a strain on his arm. So Naruto's sort of hurting. So when Hinata's Hinata's father, Hiyashi, comes in and saw the man, instead of killing the man, saw the man was already knocked the fuck out. He's not dead, because Naruto, when he tried to put enough chakra into it, it wasn't enough to actually kill him. Because Naruto's chakra is still shit at almost anything. But when Hiyashi did notice that Naruto used the air palm technique, sort of, which Hiyashi's brother was like amazed at Naruto, and when Hiyashi managed to go to the bag of where Hinata was at, grab Hinata out of the bag and say, Hinata, are you okay? Hinata was crying at her father about like, this man just kidnapped me from my bedroom and blah blah blah. Hiyashi was so pissed, but Hiyashi's brother told Hiyashi that it's better not to kill him. It's better to send him to the Hokage to answer why he did it. To get answers why he did it. So yeah. So of course they get some rope and rope up the the person was knocked down and all that. And they did tell some Hyuga members to actually attack the Cloud Ninjas so they won't escape. So of course when they go towards what's called Hiruzen and actually bring the 3 Cloud Ninjas. Of course the 3 Cloud Ninjas are also gonna go towards the Uchiha, but they did want the Byakugan, because if they went anywhere near the Uchiha probably would have murdered them. because their eyes are so good. They're better than the Byakugan. But that didn't happen. So when Hiruzen got word about Naruto, well, actually managed to defeat one of these it wasn't much of an S-ranked ninja, mostly a B-ranked ninja, but Naruto managed to defeat him and actually crash him to a wall, knock him out. It was amazing for Hiruzen, since Naruto's only 6 years old. But Naruto's right now in the hospital, so they did tell Naruto that, well, not Naruto, Hiruzen, that Naruto's in the hospital because he used a technique that was sort of forbidden in the Hyuga member. Hiruzen sort of frowned, but was kind of prideful joy about like his honorable grandson Naruto to actually be able to pull out a forbidden technique but still get hurt. So Hiruzen then asked, what did he use? Hiyoshi's brother decided to tell Hiruzen that he uses the air palm technique, where he can put enough chakra into his palm to launch an air attack. Of course, that needs a lot of like thinking, and also adding enough chakra so it won't hurt you. But it seems that he didn't add enough, which hurt him still, but knocked out the person. So Naruto's hand is right now being healed by some of the doctors and all that. And Naruto has had to be stayed in the hospital for a week. Now Hiruzen did terrorize the whole alliance with what's called the Cloud Village, because Hiruzen found out that the Cloud Village has actually tried to kidnap the Hyuga heiress. With that, Raikage was mad, but he can't do anything since his Cloud Ninjas was not killed. They were returned, sort of. They weren't really returned. They were actually just had to, for their punishment, they were actually had to stay in the what's called Leaf Village until a certain amount of years, which the Raikage was mad and he cannot do anything about it. Since Hiyoshi's brother is not gonna die, and also Hiyoshi is not gonna try to neglect Hinata that much or hate Naruto at all. But when Naruto was out of the whole when he was out of the hospital, he did visit Hinata. Hinata thanked Naruto for saving her, for the fact that he actually decides to be a good friend and save him. Now, of course, Naruto face was sort of red when, of course, he got hugged by Hinata, because this is sort of the first time anyone has ever hugged him, since this is only a 6-year-old Naruto. And with that happening, Naruto is kind of happy, and of course Hiyoshi and Hiyoshi's brother do still laugh about how Naruto is kind of just beaming red and all that. And Hiyoshi's brother does mention the fact that Naruto's name is Uzumaki, and also does sort of look like the the fourth Hokage without the whisker marks, and without eyes being sort of different colors at the same time. And Hiyoshi does notice that and thinks, well, his name is Uzumaki, an actual ruined clan. He might be the last Uzumaki, and be pretty funny to see him marry Hinata in the near future. Now, Hiyoshi's brother does also mention that, yeah, he also does look like the Yellow Flash, in the Tanamakaze. Which Hiyoshi does say that is true. He does look like him also. Whatever. I will think about it later. Now, with that happening, Naruto was just walking around the village. Of course, he has sort of the Hyugas with him, not with him that much. He has Neji just he follows Neji sometimes around the village just to see what Neji is doing with Hinata. And also, Hanabi is actually gonna be born. So, with how Hiyoshi's wife, I forgot what was her name. I forgot her name, but Hanabi is actually gonna be born when Hinata turns 8. So let me do a 2-year time skip. So of course Hanabi is now born, but it's wait how old? But okay, let me say that again. No, Hanabi was born. It's just she was still a baby at that time. Now, of course, when Naruto and Hinata does turn 8, Hanabi is actually 5 years old. So of course Naruto has met Hanabi and has actually played with her and all that. So Hinata does take her, training, being the heiress of the Hyuga clan much, how should I say, better than the original canon. With that happening, Hinata is not very shy, but she's still shy enough if she meets any new person. With that happening, so with that, since Naruto and Hinata are now 8 years old, and she's 9 years old, they are all now in the what's called the academy now. Sorry, I kind of forgot it. Oops. So yeah, they are now in the academy. Well, then she started way earlier than them because he was older. With that happening, Naruto doesn't really prank the Konoha that much. Instead, he actually trains to learn the the Hyuga techniques a little bit more better, sort of. He can't really do the gentle fist that much, so he decides to do his own gentle fist. An ability which he will actually try to do in Taijutsu. Which, instead of having the Byakugan to see or anything, he can't really see anything at all. And so, he can see, but instead of using the Byakugan to see the pressure points, he's actually gonna just instead hit people how should I say? So with Naruto not able to use the jump fist to hit the chakra points, he has to actually hit pressure points instead of chakra points. So he is sort of a little bit much smarter than the original canon, but not much. He's still a little goofy and all that. But yeah. Now, he does talk to Hinata only in the academy because he is not much of a prankster or being lazy in the whole academy thing. I mean, he's still lazy. He still doesn't want to do the whole academy thing. But he can't really ditch the academy unless Iruka has to go chase him back down. So yeah. So he's still gonna have the same relationship with Iruka and all that he does. Iruka does not hate Naruto being the Demon Fox or anything. With that happening, Naruto has actually just trained with the Hyuga a little bit more. But this time, let me go back to the Hyugas and all that. So, of course, this is still where Naruto's 8. After he got out of school with Hinata and all that, they actually went back to, the compound and all that. When they get into the compound, of course, this is where Neji is sort of training with his father. And Naruto sort of asks Neji to train. So Neji does not have this whole stick up his ass, because he does have his father and all that. He's still a little cocky, but not much. So when Naruto starts training with Neji and all that, Hanabi and Hinata are telling Neji, Naruto go or Neji go. Of course, Hiyashi and so let me stop saying Hiyashi's brother, but his fuck. So Hizashi and Hiyashi are both just talking and all that when they were seeing the battle between Naruto and Neji. But when Neji managed to hit Naruto hard enough in the stomach, Naruto got back up and started fighting against Neji. So everyone thinks that it's normal to see Naruto get back up, but they kind of see that not Hinata. Neji kind of hit him a little too hard, but they just thought Naruto was just getting back up. Now, no one actually noticed this, but Naruto's eyes have actually awoken to a different color. Instead of being purple blue, deep sea color blue, or a dark purple, his eyes sort of change. Instead of going into a crimson red Sharingan, just like how should I say, Uchihas, which Naruto is an Uchiha. I didn't mention this in the beginning, which Instead of going into that kind of color of crimson red, both his eyes changed into a color that no one actually expected to ever see on Naruto's like face or eyes at all. Instead of having this deep sea color blue or purple eyes anymore, both his eyes sort of went into a white tomoyas and black, black color. And of course, he only has one white tomoyas in both eyes. And he rushes at Neji, seeing that his eyes are actually now going to be like, he can actually see the attacks are actually being more slower down. And Neji actually saw Naruto's eyes and widened his eyes. And Naruto kicks Neji in the stomach. Neji was kind of with like wide and why Naruto has those eyes, and like what the fuck, he managed to dodge all my attacks and managed to still hit me. And with that happening, everyone in like the not compound, and the whole like spar thing and all that were just wide, and how Naruto easily just kind of kicked Neji in the stomach. Well, not kick him, knee him in the stomach. When everyone turned around and Hiyashi and Hizashi were just looking at what happened to Naruto, Hinata run up to Naruto and say, "Naruto, you did what?" When Naruto turns around and saw Hinata, Hinata was just wide and his eyes kind of change. Now, why I mentioned that his eyes are sort of white and black is because his element, his one of like his bloodline sort of mixed with the Uchiha. Now, Senju is gonna mix later, but he doesn't know about his Senju yet. Now, his Uchiha and Yoshi blood line kind of mix up. So Naruto's actually using two elements at once with the Sharingan. Usually, the two elements that he can actually supposed to use is probably like Snow White and like another color in between the eyes and all that. But with white and black is because he's actually using both sort of light. Well, not light. Light would be sort of like a light yellow color, and dark would be a light darker color. Not a light darker. Yeah, sort of like that. He's actually both using yin and yang without him even noticing it. So Naruto is sort of like releasing sort of yin yang chakra, but he's not even noticing it. So that's why both his eyes are sort of black and white. Now, of course, Hiyashi Hizashi noticed Naruto's eyes being similar to that of the Uchiha. Everyone in the clan like just widened their eyes, saying that's the dojutsu of the Sharingan. But how does he have that? Hiyashi just goes up to Naruto and looks at Naruto's like face and look at his eyes, seeing that Naruto does have the Sharingan, but they're different color from the normal Sharingan. So Hiyashi does tell Naruto to stop putting chakra into his eyes. And Naruto says, "Wait, I'm putting chakra into my eyes?" So Naruto did not notice he was putting chakra into his eye. He was sort of putting it so he can actually see a little bit better. But enough like getting sort of like frustrated with fighting Neji and sort of putting more chakra into his eyes, he unlocked the Sharingan. Only a one-to-my Sharingan. Now, it won't have the same, this Sharingan will not have the same effect as a normal Sharingan, since it kind of mixed up to one bloodline. But I should not mention anything else. So, you know how Madara had about 5 siblings? Madara Uchiha had like 5 siblings and all that? So he had, almost all his siblings died, and he only had like one sibling named Izuna Uchiha. He actually had, in this one, he actually had 2 brothers alive. Izuna Uchiha and, Naruto Uchiha. So this is actually his, 3rd brother. So he's a little bit younger than Madara and Izuna. Now, I know this is just an OC Uchiha character for Madara's being brother and all that. But Naruto Uchiha, when he was fighting against some Senju and managing to kill them, he still fell into water because he still had enough, knives and daggers and whatever got stuck into his chest and all and fell into water. And I should explain what happened to him. So what happened to him is the fact that when he was sort of in water and actually landed in some land that was actually far away from the whole Senju and Uchiha battle, a female kind of the name Uzumaki, well, he kind of landed in the Whirlpool land, the Uzumaki. So he kind of met this female named Uzumaki Kura, no. Uzumaki, how should I say? Uzumaki Kurosaka. Whatever, screw it, that's her name. Uzumaki Kurosaka. With that, well, Naruto, not Naruto, what the fuck am I talking about? Kurosaka Uzumaki with Noro Uchiha, they both met, well, which she was kind of healing Naruto Uchiha, and noticing that he's basically from the Uchiha clan. Now, of course, Kurosuke Uzumaki was actually very kind, so she didn't care which clan were you from or anything. Now, of course, Naruto kind of like woke up and kind of noticed this Uzumaki helping him, and he kind of still remember all the things he did to well, the Senju and all that. But he kind of liked the female with red hair a lot, and decides to, well, have kids with her and all that. So he gave up being the whole like going into war because he did not actually want to go back into war and fighting, well, the Senju and Uchiha or whatever. So instead of doing that, he just forget about that life and actually decided to have a kid. Now, Kurosaki Uzumaki was actually from a royalty bloodline. Now, of course, her parents kind of noticed that she kind of decided to marry someone else instead of having sort of a not very pure bloodline and all that, but sort of like that. But instead of that, she married an Uchiha. So of course, the parents was kind of mad at her. But when Naruto, Noto Uzumaki, like not Uzumaki, Uchiha, protect Kurosuke Uchiha. Uzumaki from she getting like her or anything, activate his Sharingan. And notice that the two parents of this Uzumaki noticed that he was in Uchiha, just decided to let him be in it, because they can see that the Uchiha wants to protect their daughter. So with that, basically Naruto actually has sort of relationship with Madara, being a little bit related, a little bit, not much. So yeah, so he's sort of he does have a little bit relationship or not relationship related towards Madara Uchiha. So yeah, none of the Hyuga members know that he does or was an Uchiha, was Naruto. So of course, they did go to Hiruzen and did tell him about how Naruto might have different bloodlines than just normal. So Hiruzen decided to do a DNA check. So check that Naruto Uzumaki. Check. Naruto, Namikaze. Check. Naruto Senju. Check. What? Hiruzen, since he didn't check on what Naruto's DNA when he was younger and all that, he decides to just think, yeah, this is basically Kushina and, Minato's, like, son. He did not want to check what kind of bloodlines he had, because he just thought he had the Uzumaki and Namikaze blood. Yeah, that's all he just thought. But when he saw that three bloodlines has actually shown up, and Naruto being 1 Senju, 2 Uchiha, and 3 unknown, Naruto's just not exploded. Hiruzen just almost had like 3 heart attacks from the fact that he does have more than just 2 bloodlines. And first, he's a Senju. He's pretty much a royalty prince towards the towards the village. Now, I should mention who's the Senju for Naruto. So you notice how what's it called? Not Hiyashi. What am I talking about? Hashirama and Tobirama had other brothers. They had 5 brothers in total, but only had, well, some brothers died. You remember the one with black and sort of yellow? Was it yellow hair? It was like brown and yellow hair or something. That was the youngest brother of Hashirama and all that. Yeah, he didn't die. He got a little bit older and all that. And as he did not die in that whole battle with the Uchihas, he still got hurt pretty bad with some Uchihas, and Hashirama thought that his brother, his younger brother, died. Which he didn't die. I don't remember what his name was. I don't think they even talk about his name. With that, he actually fell into, he fell into the river and actually landed towards the Namikaze side. Of course, he met a Namikaze female that also kind of had different color eyes. One eye was an emerald color green, and the other one was a diamond color blue. A crystallized blue. This is basically her elements that she can actually allow to use. She used basically from the Yoshi clan. The Yoshi clan. And since that's the thing, Naruto is from that clan. So we go into, Hiruzen just talking to the Hyugas, knowing that Naruto is not really adopted towards the Hyugas or the Uchihas. So Hiyashi does say, Naruto, well, not Hiyashi, Hiruzen does tell Naruto, do you want to go to the Uchiha side, knowing that you're an Uchiha? Naruto nodded his head. Do you want to be a Senju? Do you want me to change your last name to Senju? Naruto has no clue what that is, so he's just gonna keep Uzumaki. And he does not know about his 3rd bloodline, so he doesn't even think Naruto even has the bloodline. And so Hiruzen didn't tell Naruto, have you had any strange other abilities than normal? Naruto says, maybe be able to control other elements, but not much. Hiruzen says, oh, okay, controlling other elements, okay. Wait, what do you mean, other elements? Naruto explains that when he was younger and met Hinata and stopped some of the bullies, he can actually control snow. He can also lift up tiny rocks when he was trying to figure out what this was. He can also somehow control water without using hand signs. So when Hiruzen was hearing this, he was saying, what? Naruto said, yeah, I don't need hand signs to control some of these elements. I don't know if it's just something that people are special or I'm just unlucky and has this weird ability. And Hiruzen just says, Naruto. Naruto said, yes. Hiruzen says, are you saying that you can control the elements? Naruto says, somewhat, I think so. Hiruzen says, interesting. I'm gonna expect that to be the 3rd last bloodline you have, and not the Uchiha or Senju side, or Uzumaki or Namikaze. Oh, wait, shit. Naruto says, Namikaze? Wait, do I have 5 bloodlines instead of 3? Why? You told me that I only have 4. Uzumaki, Senju, Uchiha, and the Yoshi. What is Namikaze? Hiruzen says, I meant to say Yoshi clan, not Namikaze. I think you heard that wrong, Naruto. Naruto, he decides to play along with it and says, sure. And so, Hiyashi and Hizashi kind of heard the name Namikaze, and Hinata just said, what? And Hiyashi says, I have no clue. And so Hinata said, okay, father. So of course Hinata's gonna ignore the whole Namikaze part. Naruto and the other part is gonna keep that in mind. Hiruzen just was sweating. He was like, oh shit. Gotta keep it still. Gotta keep it, how should I say, still as steel. So he's just like, they're just staring into Naruto and saying, you just have 4. I didn't just fuck myself. Hiruzen says something to my escape. So Naruto just says, "Okay, GG. Yeah, that's my 4 blood lines. I think so." So Hiruzen says, "So do you just want to keep Uzumaki?" Naruto says, what are Senju again?" Hiruzen almost face plant and just said, "Okay, I'ma do a lecture. Do you like lectures?" Naruto says, "I mean, sure." Hiruzen explains about the Uchiha being the ancestors and Senju being the founders of this village. The Uzumakis are someone else that were allies towards the village, and the Yoshi clan is unknown. We have no clue what this clan is. So with that happening, Naruto nodded, and Naruto said, "So, can I have the Senju name?" What's it called? Hiruzen says, "Screw it, why not? You're basically royalty to this." Wait. He goes to look into the Senju blood to see maybe Naruto has some kind of relationship to Hashirama. And when he looks through the Senju blood, it does. And Hiruzen thinks, I don't remember. Well, Hiruzen did remember hearing about how, what's it called? Not Hayashi. Hashirama had 5 brothers in total. 2 of them got killed. One of them was old enough to live, but then got killed. Tobirama and Hashirama were both the last ones to live and all that. Their father and parents kind of died and all that. So yeah, Hiruzen's thinking, could it be that one of his brothers alive? So he checked with Tobirama Senju and DNA and all that, and saw that yeah, it does have similar DNA towards them. It's a little off. So yeah, Naruto is sort of royalty towards the Konoha. Just the problem is he is not the son, well not grandson of both. Not the grandson of Tobirama or Hashirama or Madara or Azuna Uchiha. He's basically Azuna's younger brother and Tobirama's younger brother. Yeah. So, when Hiruzen decided to check on the Uchiha blood and saw that it was closely related towards Madara Uchiha, and Hiruzen was horrified that, oh crap, wait a minute. Are you saying, wait, who had this blood? So he sees that the Uchiha blood is sort of, well, Madara's Uchiha blood. So yes, they did have a container of Madara Uchiha blood to check if people are related to him or not in the Uchiha side. But some people are not much related to him or anything. So when he just checked for the Uchiha blood, and Naruto saw that he was closely relationship towards Madara, then he checked on Minato. Minato did not have any Uchiha blood, so yes, there's some Minato blood and all there. And when he looked in Kushina's side and realized that Kushina had a same thing as Uchiha DNA in her blood, that just frightened Hiruzen. No wonder she was a scary lady. And so, Hiruzen says, interesting, we don't know about your parents, so yeah. Yeah, I would change your name, Naruto. So Naruto's actually being called Naruto Senju instead of being Naruto Uzumaki. So, yeah. Now, I will explain how he's gonna get the special Rinnegans. Of course, you can probably see how it's actually gonna be done, and how he's actually gonna be a Kitsune. So, let me do about a sort of 1 year time skip. So, when Naruto kind of found out about his 5 bloodlines, he actually decided to meet Kurama. And one of the training, well, he was training really hard trying to get his chakra pretty good. Until he kind of fell off the tree and slipped down and kind of hit his head. So at that time, he was actually in his mindscape meeting Kurama. Now, Kurama says, ha ha, Hello there, puny human. My name is Kurama. Well, not Kurama. The QB. Naruto was frightened at first and then realized he's a giant furball. So, of course, this is only a, 9-year-old Naruto. The Uchiha massacre will still happen, but I'm gonna get to that later. So, when he was just like talking towards Nine Tails, he actually managed to attain that Naruto, that he actually has a 6th bloodline. So, I did mention in the beginning that Naruto is gonna have a 6th bloodline from Kushina's side. So, even though I did not mention that Kurosaki had another bloodline, she does. Mostly from her father's side, but yeah. So, Kurama does talk to Naruto about you have more than just 5 bloodlines, you have 6 in total. The 6th one is actually from not even from this world in total. So, Naruto is actually not human fully that much. And he's not human at all that much. He is human, he's just a Kitsune. So, Kurama explains that you are, well, a distant descendant of the Kitsune clan. So, the Kitsune clan were a clan full of foxes, and Kurama did kind of came from that clan. And, Kurama just talks about he's sort of a fox that has 9 tails. Of course, I don't have a human form that much, since the Kitsune clan does have forms of going into a fox or just a human form. And this one, Kurama can sort of go into a fox mode. And yeah. Should I? Nah. So Kurama explains that Naruto's from the Kitsune clan. So Kurama, even though he has 9-tailed fox, he is sort of mostly a demon because of the Biju. He's basically a Biju. He's not from the Kitsune clan that much. At all. So yeah. So Naruto was confused about the Kitsune clan, but Kurama says, when you get older, I want to lock it for you, but for now, you're just gonna stay there. Also, I should mention you do have Uzumaki, Namikaze, Uchiha, Senju, and the Yoshi clan. With the Kitsune clan, you have 6 bloodlines in total. And the fact that you are an Uchiha, I hate you less. Well, more and less at the same time that you're Senju, sort of. I don't care. So, yes, Naruto's gonna become a Kitsune when he's older, when he's 12 years old. Now, let me explain what happened to the Uchiha Massacre. That still happened. Sasuke still became emo, and yeah. But let me go into the classroom of the academy. So, even though Naruto is now 9 years old, his name was changed into being Senju. So, some people just got excited that Naruto's actually a prince of Konoha. And Sasuke thought that this prince is basically a Senju, and he doesn't like Senjus that much. Well, he doesn't know that Senju are more stronger than the Uchihas. Sort of. Naruto is, well, a rival towards Sasuke. And Sasuke barely knows it. Naruto is sort of a rival much. Naruto does not activate his Sharingan unless he's training with the Hyuga. So yeah. So Hiyashi and Hizashi are both just thinking perverted thoughts when they see Hinata with Naruto. And they saying, a 9-year-old with 5 different bloodlines, which they don't know about the 6th one, with the heiress. How would this go out when they have kids? And of course, Naruto and Hinata are like far away from hearing what Hiyashi and Hizashi are talking about. But yeah. Now, Hinabi is confused, but yeah. So Naruto is training with Hinata and all that. So even though Naruto still cannot see the chakra points or anything, chakra points, he still has his own techniques and all that. So of course, Naruto. Let me do a how should I say? They're 9 right now, so a 3-year time scale. So what happened with Naruto? Naruto has a full mature, Sharingan. Of course, his eyes have actually have different types involved into different colors and all that. One time the Sharingan when it was white and black kind of switched into the black being a red and the white tomoes being blue, because they kind of switched when Naruto was actually using the elements of water and fire. Of course, there was sort of fire and water around him, but yeah, the fire was because someone was just like helping Hanabi about like training survival and all that. And when Naruto decides to use the water, he then noticed that he actually used both the elements water and fire and launched him at Hinata. He was just using water so Hinata can actually flexibly dodge the water. He did not know that he actually used the fire. The fire from one of the Hyugas teaching Hanabi about how to create fire. With hand signs and without hand signs. The Hyuga that was actually teaching her was actually her father, Hiyashi, and noticed that the fire just flew away from the whole campfire thing. Hiyashi looked up and saw Naruto actually using 2 elements. And Naruto turns around and saw the fire, so he uses the water to clash with the fire, turning into steam. And realized he can actually control the steam and launch it at Hinata. Because when he decides to use the steam, maybe he can control the steam, he did not know. He used the steam to, wrap around Hinata and actually make it into like a rope. Hinata was tied up with the steam and Naruto was like, wait, I can use that? Hiyashi was more impressed when Naruto actually controlling the elements more better. So yeah, Naruto was able to use more elements with his Sharingan and all that. So Naruto does not have the MS yet, or the EMS, or the Rinnegan yet. I will get into mention how he's gonna get that, but yeah. So Naruto does not have the Mokitan neither. He is not Hashirama's, grandson. Since, of course, the Mokitan is, how should I say, a use of the Senju, but of course, it was sort of rare still. So yeah, Naruto kind of also learned about having chains. He actually threw, 2 chains from his hand towards Neji, and Neji managed to dodge them, and still managed to kick, Naruto in the stomach for that last time he got kneed in the stomach. So yeah. Sasuke thinks he is the only Uchiha left. Pretty much he is not the only Uchiha left. Naruto is the other Uchiha that has so many bloodlines. But yeah. So Naruto has some mastery over his abilities when he turned 12 years old. Sasuke is still the emo revenger. A bunch of fangirls are split between, Sasuke and Naruto. The problem why Naruto does not wear that orange color. He sort of likes orange, but not much. He likes black and like blue and purple and other colors. Like one time he just showed up with a freaking yellow suit. Hinata made Naruto go back to his house and go change. Like Hinata's the only one to actually make Naruto go do what she wants. Cause Naruto's kind of scared when Hinata's pretty mad at him. So yeah, Neji's also like scared of Hinata when she's very mad. You know when that part in Boruto where Boruto and Naruto was just making a lot of noise and Hinata comes out and throws him out of the house when she was having that pissed look. Yeah, she does have that sometimes with Naruto in this one. So yeah, Hinata isn't shy and she does have sort of feelings for other people if they try to annoy her or anything. So one time Kiba tried to annoy her a lot and Hinata kind of used sort of the gentle fist. Was about to use 64 palms and Kiba because Kiba was just annoying her that much. And of course, he almost died until Naruto blocked all those attacks with his anti-gentle fist. Yes, Naruto made an anti-gentle fist. So yeah, I would actually like. Well, this is actually where I'm gonna leave it off. The problem is cause later I'm actually gonna have to go get my sibling. But yeah, have a nice potato day, potato night, potato seed, potato, and potato.